Hello darlings, and welcome to my 2025 current book haul video. In this video I will be going through and talking about all the books that are new to my library and the books that I got each month leading up until now, which we are in the very beginning of August as I'm currently filming, so I have not bought any in August yet. Now that I see them, they're all laid on my floor, stacked in the months that I got them. It's kind of sad, but also good. In both ways, sad because it's a lot for me, I think, but hear me out. I got a lot because I now have this beautiful library to be able to fill, and I had to be very cautious about the books that I would get because I had a very tiny little 3 feet by 3 feet of a little bookshelf that I could put all my books in, and a lot of them I had to store away because I had no room at our previous place. But now that we are moved into this beautiful house with this beautiful library, it only makes sense to be able to fill it with all the books that I have been wanting. So I am so excited. One month in particular, February, is a little ridiculous, but there's an explanation, so it's totally fine. It's totally reasonable. Kind of, not really. January definitely has the smallest amount of books that I got. To some people, that's normal, or that's more than they would for a month. And again, I am appalled with myself with how many books I have gotten this year, so I need to calm it down. Again, there's reasons, there's explanations, so it's totally fine. And I didn't buy all of them. Some of them were given to me, some of them were bought from me, from my husband, my mother-in-law, my sister. So I didn't all buy them myself. And very few were bought full price. A lot of them, most all of them, were bought on sale or at secondhand bookstores, regardless. So I got this book, If He Had Been With Me. I have heard a lot of good things about this, and I also had heard kind of things about this. I will put the original cover of this book on the screen. I've looked at it many times, especially when I would go to Target. It looked really interesting because the cover was this shattered heart lollipop that I thought was really cool. I'm gonna be so honest, and let's all be honest. Who does not judge a book by its cover? An actual book, not a person, not scenarios or whatnot. I'm talking about an actual book. I'm sorry, but if the cover is just not good, unless if people have highly recommended, Hope, you need to read this, we know you're gonna love it, probably not gonna pick it up. It looks really cool, and then I saw that the author did a re-release with a really cool limited edition little cover. I don't know, it grabbed my attention. I really wanted it. So I got it. It has sprayed etching. It's super cool. And I started reading it right after I got it. Please let me know if you have read this, what you think about it. Should I get back into it because it was kind of a soft/hard DNF. This book came out in 2013. I am not the most literate person, okay? My grammar's not great, nor do I type great grammar. I just, that was not my strong suit. English was not. However, I do love reading, and the reason why I say this is if I can find grammatical errors, there's a problem. And my family can agree, my sisters, my friends, my husband. So if I'm hey, that's an error, they're wow, then that's pretty severe. It's not, but that will be probably something you may learn about me, and it's totally fine. I really want to read this. I've heard that it's a good book. I've heard the second one's really good. The idea of it really sounds great. I just need to really throw myself back into the book. I don't know. It was the first chapter I couldn't do. It was just the way that the narrator was talking, the FMC. So anyways, long story short, that's the DNF for right now. I need to get back into it because I got the beautiful book. I need to read it. The second book I got, needless to say, was Home Is Where the Bodies Are. So my sister actually bought this for me because the cover looks like a VHS, which is so cool. But then Barnes & Noble did their own little exclusive to where the book has its own little cover, and it looks like a sleeve for a VHS, which is genius. This is especially for the kids that grew up with VHS tapes in the 90s, early 2000s. This was kind of everything. I still have all my VHS tapes that I had growing up. This is definitely on my list for this fall. So the end of the year, when I talk about all the books that I have read, this will definitely be one of them. I'm kind of feeling like October. I don't know why, but I think this will be on my October TBR list. So this is my February book haul. It's kind of insane. like I mentioned earlier, but hear me out, okay? So it was in February. The fact that I'm trying to like justify this is kind of sad. Regardless, it's totally fine. Some of you will totally understand. Some of you will be like, what is wrong with her? I honestly blacked out in February. It's fine. It's totally fine. Anyways, so a lot of these in February, Valentine's Day. As some of you may know, there's a big book sale for Barnes & Noble, for Books A Million, and from Amazon. So I definitely indulged in that. So my husband and I don't really go all out for Valentine's Day. The books that I got, that he got me, was definitely my Valentine's Day present. Also, I bought some of them. But like Books A Million was doing the, I don't know if it was like buy one get one 50. Barnes & Noble was also doing it, and Amazon had like literally 50% off or more on books. And when I say I blacked out, like I actually blacked out. And then like the next day I ordered more books. It's fine. It's fine. Really, it's fine. It's not, but it's fine. Anyways, so the first book that I got and read was The Shadows Between Us. This was a 5 out of 5. Loves this book. This was actually my first fantasy or romantasy book that I ever read. And then Powerless, which we'll talk in just a second, was the second one. I know earlier when I did my bookshelf tour and decoration video, I said this one was, and I completely forgot that a few months beforehand, I read this one. I love the edging. It's beautiful. The inside, like in paper arts, has a map, which I love. And then, I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful book. And the second one, The Darkness Within Us. Please let me know if you've read these two books, especially if you've read this first one and then the second one. I think I gave this a 3-star or a 2-star. I can't remember, and I felt like if I did do a 3-star, it was being generous. Hear me out. So the first book is about the younger sister, second book is about the older sister. And I am the youngest of sisters. And so kind of related, but also kind of didn't in this sense. The Shadows part is not related to the main girl. The FMC is more about the NMC. However, she was in the shadow of her sister. She was kind of hidden. She was not the favorite. Regardless, the book is great. It talks about how she does not have a good relationship with her sister, her older sister, who this second book is about. And so already going into it, I was like, I really don't like this sister. Like, she can respectfully like piss off. I didn't like her. She was very selfish, very rude. It gives an explanation of why in the book. I was like, all right, you know, if there's a whole book about her, I'm ready for a redemption story. I'm ready to love her. Didn't like the book. And I was like, well, maybe it's just me, you know? So I asked my sister when she finished it, because it took her a while to finish it too. And I powered through it because I was just ready to be done with it. I don't know. Please let me know if you've read this and if you've loved it, or if you had the same feelings. Didn't love it. Didn't love it. Was not my favorite. So those two were part of the Books A Million half off books. I don't know if all of them, I don't know if those were half off. They were. Okay, it's all coming back to me. They were half off, or like 40% off. And then if you were a member for Books A Million, then you got the extra 10%, making it 50% off. And then I also got A Curse for True Love. And sadly, they didn't have the first two, which I can't really remember the names of them. I'll put them on the screen, of this series. So this is the last one, if I'm not mistaken. And again, the reason why I have it before the other two is because it was 50% off. Then that got me into getting these books, which I know my friend Megan loves these books. She talked to me about these a couple years back. So I kind of had like a tiptoe into this world, and she loved it. My sister has talked about this book series and has loved them, telling me that I need to read them. Then found out those books are a series after the Caraval series. So I went ahead and bought these 3 books during the Amazon sale because they were all like half off. Hardback books, half off, why would you not? You know, again, very explanatory, very justified, kind of. We've got Caraval, then we've got Legendary, and then we've got Finale? I'm illiterate, I don't know. These books I know I want to read this fall. I am very excited about, or like winter time. That kind of just felt right for these books. I know my friend Megan is very excited for me to step into this world, and I know my older sister is very excited for me to step into this world. Also, she has not read these, and apparently if you read this series first, it kind of gives away things that happen in this one. So if you're wanting to read it, read Caraval series first, then we go into Onyx Storm. I have not read any of these books. I know, very big. Why would I get the last book if I haven't read any of them? And especially if I didn't know if I was going to read any of them. My sister did tell me if I'm going to get this book, and I think I might get it, I need to get it now because we love sprayed edges. Both her and I do. She said this will not last forever, and at that point they were already going into paperback and doing the sprayed edges. So she was like, if you're gonna get it, just go ahead and get it. It was quite literally half off on Amazon, so I got it, and now I'm glad I did, because for the ones that don't know, Rebecca Yarbrough has released that. She's re-releasing the first 2 books with sprayed edging, so it kind of like correlates all together with this last one. So I went ahead and pre-ordered with my sister. Then we go into wonderful world of the Powerless series. I'm so excited because all of these were 5-star books. I am so excited for the new novella. It's Fearful. This one is a beautiful 5 out of 5. Loved it. This one, novella, I know it's hard for people to do 5 out of 5. I thought it would be like, 3 or 4 because it's so small. 5 out of 5. Fantastic, loved it, wanted more of it, sobbed. And then I got Reckless, the Barnes & Noble exclusive, because the petals were light blue, and I love light blue. So obviously it was like, yeah, I'd rather have that than red, which I do like red, but obviously I'm gonna choose blue over it. And then I learned after reading the book that they are poppy flowers, so the petals are poppies. And so now, after reading the book and the scene and everything, now I'm like, I kind of wish I would have gotten the original with the red flower petals, the red poppy flower petals. If I could go back in time, I honestly think I would get the red because it correlates with the whole story. But again, it's totally fine. And then I got the Belladonna series on Amazon, and this was also during the big sale. This was a box set. My sister has been begging me to get these and telling me I will love them. I planned on reading them this spring, and I told her that because they were flowers and all this, it really felt like spring. And she was like, well, you could, but she said you could also read it in the fall time because it's more dark academia, if I'm not mistaken. So I was like, okay. I read other books, and then because we were moving, that pushed like my whole like TBR list for every month very far down. So I went ahead and just removed these from the TBR list, and I was like, I'll read them this fall. I know I have to read them before the end of the year, or else my sister's gonna be really mad at me. The hardcover is gorgeous on all of them. This is the box set. I don't think all of them, maybe it's Belladonna that does not have this if you buy it separately, if I'm not mistaken. There's one of these that my sister got because she bought them all separately, and it does not have the really cool covers on the back. And so she told me if I'm going to get it, then get the box set and don't buy it separately. There's in paper art that's gorgeous too. I'm very excited to read these. And then Holly, the novella, I think it's a novella. It's either a novella or it's a full book. Comes out in November, if I'm not mistaken. This one is Foxglove, then Wisteria, and then the last one is Holly. So I would presume that Holly would have the really cool covers like these do. My oldest sister has highly recommended these books, so these are definitely ones that I'm very excited to get into. And then I got the 6th book of the Bridgerton series, so I have 2 left. I don't have them in my Bridgerton little shelf right there, you can see. I read the first 5 last spring. Loved them. It was getting into summer, and yes, I could have finished it, but I was like, I kind of want to step away from the series, read something else, because I was reading them back from back. I wanted to hold off and read them during the spring. Bridgerton is so springtime, it was either a 4.75 or it was a 5-star book. I'm just gonna say it was 5-star. I love the Bridgerton series. It's less spicy. I don't love spicy. You can kind of easily just skim through it quickly if you are not wanting to read it, which I suggest because I don't like spice. I don't like it. It's a little scary for me. Other than that part, loves the book. I love the Bridgerton world. I love Regency era. Love the Bridgerton series. Love the show. And then we get into the Inheritance Games whole series. I got the first 3 for Christmas from my husband, and they're up there. That shelf is the whole Inheritance Games whole world. I got those during Christmas. However, those were the first books I read this year. So I will talk about those at the end of this year. We have The Brothers Hawthorne. I got this obviously in February, and at that point, the Barnes & Noble exclusive cover was no longer at Barnes & Noble. And I was so sad because when I looked it up, every time I find a book that I know I want to get, then I'll look it up and see all the colors and the cover options, whether it's Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Amazon, Walmart, Target, whatnot, so I can decide which one I want to get. I found out that Barnes & Noble did a purple color, which I loved because the original cover is just black. And if you see, the colors for the Inheritance games are green, blue, and red. So going into black just felt so harsh, mainly because Games Untold, and even though the Grandest Games was technically a black cover, I got the Barnes & Noble because it was white, and I liked how it made the colors pop a lot more. Honestly, I sat for a very long time trying to decide. I knew I was getting that white cover, and I think I may have already bought it or I was going to buy it soon. I knew I was going to get that white cover, and obviously with the gold of Games Untold, that is why I really wanted to get the purple, and plus because it was technically still with the original 3, I wanted to have color with it. It was no longer at Books A Million, and so my sister found it at Second and Charles, which is a secondhand bookstore, but it also has like games, movies, music, a bunch of different stuff. So she found it. I was thrilled, and it was in great condition. I was so excited. I think I gave this maybe a 4 or a 4.5. I love this world. And then I got Games Untold, but I have not read this one yet. And I have not read Grandest Games because I took a pause. I read the first 3, and then I got this one, read it. I was going to jump into the world of Grandest Games. It's kind of like a spin-off series from the Inheritance games, so it's got some of the original characters and a lot of new ones. And then Games Untold is a book of a bunch of novellas. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it includes novellas from the Grandest Games, and then the first 4. I have not read them because, which I just got it, Glorious Rivals just came out end of July. I was gonna hold off and read these right before Glorious Rivals came out. I did not end up reading these because then I realized there was a lot of summer books that I wanted to read during the summer before it ended. But I know I'm going to read these this fall or winter time, but I'm definitely going to read them before the end of the year. I am very excited to step back into this world. Miss Jennifer Lynn Barnes, if you are watching this by the off chance, or you will somehow see this, which you would probably not, but if you do, please make this a TV series. If it's not already in the works, please do, because I love the Inheritance games. I love the characters. I love the brothers and Avery. I love it all. The last book in February is The Perfect Marriage, and I know The Perfect Divorce came out not too long after I got this. My sister bought this for me because she loved it. She raved over it, and it's hardback, but also it is the beautiful spread edging, and we love spread edging. This is a perfect fall book or winter book because I just find mystery, murder, thriller, whatever it may be, to be fall and wintertime. Like, that's where my mind goes, and so it's very rare for me to want to read them during the spring or the summertime. So I am very excited about it, and that concludes February. A little silly, a little insane. It's perfectly fine. So for March, I only got 3 books, so a lot better from February. There is one more month that has a little bit more books, but not near as bad, maybe like half the amount as February. The first book I got was Sunrise on the Reaping, which is Haymitch's story from the Hunger Games. I am so excited to read this one. I know, I haven't read it yet. It's crime. However, I was actually also planning on reading Hunger Games this fall. That feels very fall to me too. And then I got These Infinite Threads at Barnes & Noble, and it was like a fraction of the price. It was $7. This is also a book series by Tahari Mafi. She wrote the Shadow Me series, so if you're familiar with all those. So this is the second one. I have heard great things from this series, so I know I wanted to eventually get the series and read them. And anytime I'm at Second and Charles, I actually have a list on my phone of all the books I know that I eventually want to get and to read. I will look for them there, so I'm not paying full price, and they're secondhand. I don't know if I'm gonna get to it this year. If not, I'm kind of feeling maybe end of winter, beginning of spring next year. And then the last one of March is Sky Shade, which I don't have the other two, the first two. This is another series that I have really been wanting to read, and I'm kind of feeling like November, December might be when I step into the world of Lightlark. I found this one also at Second and Charles. It was around half the price, so that's why I went ahead and got it. So then we have stepped into April, which is our beautiful Fearless, which was a 5 out of 5. Loves this book. I loved how it wrapped up. It was very thick compared to the first two, and obviously compared to the novella. I really loved this world. This was like the first real like fantasy series that I read. I highly recommend them if you have not read them yet, and if you have, let me know what you thought about them. Obviously no spoilers. Then I got Hex by Emily McIntyre. I have Hooked right back there. You can see it right there. That is, I got it because it was the special like limited edition one. It was beautiful, beautiful sprayed edging. This author will take villains from classic fairy tales, like mainly Disney movies, and will get the villains a little story, a little book. So this one is Ursula / Vanessa. So she goes by Vanessa in this story, and I was excited about it because it's Ariel, it's Vanessa. The reason why I ended up getting this in April was because this is a Barnes & Noble exclusive. I saw that they had this one, and this was the last one they had left, and their Barnes & Noble exclusive is that the shell is purple. The original cover is pink, but because the shell was purple, it fit because Ariel shells are purple. So then I decided to go ahead and take the plunge so that I could have this book with the purple shell on front. And then I've learned that these books are spicy. I don't know how the spice rating and scale is, so now I'm nervous. I don't know if the books are like, it's a good romance book and then it has a little bit of spice, or if it's like this is spice with a little bit of romance. I need to look into it now because now I'm a little nervous. I'm hoping that it's not too much spice, but the ones that have already read these books might be laughing at me. It might end up being that I read a quarter of the book or a fifth of the book where the spice is, or I might end up only reading half of the book if there's too much spice, because like I mentioned, the spice kind of scares me. And then the last book I got was Summer in the City, and as you can see, I got it at Books A Million and it was on sale. I ended up getting this one at Books A Million because I looked at all the different sprayed edging. The really cool thing about the Summer in the City books is that there's like Walmart special, a Target, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and then I think maybe Amazon or some others, that all of the edgings, the sprayed edgings are different. I really liked this one, which was the city, and it's got like the buildings on the side of it. I've only read one of the books that I bought in April, but I know I'm gonna read this one very soon, and Hex. I also have it on my Kindle Unlimited. I'm just hoping it's not too much spice because I love a good retelling, or just telling of any kind of story that has to do with Ariel, and especially Vanessa, especially Ursula. So here's to hoping it's not too scary for me to read. So these are the books that I got in May, and yes, this is a lot more. It is not near as bad as February, so that is what I'm trying to tell myself. And the other 2 months, there's like 3 or 4, so it's totally fine. Inheritance I found at another local secondhand bookstore for very cheap. I think it was like maybe $7, maybe $8. I found the mirror at Books A Million, and this one was like 50% off or cheaper. Please let me know if you've read the series or even just the first one, and if you really liked it. The idea of it seemed very cool. I have not read them yet. I'm very excited to. And then another trip to Books A Million with my mother-in-law. She was very sweet and bought me these 2 books. I will probably read The Rose Bargain very soon, and I'm very excited about Infinite Fates. The whole idea of it seems very interesting. And then finding out that this is going to be a series. I think it might be a duology. I don't know if it's a 3-book series or if it's just 2. I have heard only wonderful things about these 2 books. The Prince of Song and Sea, however, I had already read it, and I have the hardback right there. And then she came out with it in paperback, and I only got it because it is a completely different cover. And I know I mentioned it during my bookshelf video. I wouldn't have got it unless if I really loved it, and I really loved it because it's got King Triton's crown, it's got his trident, it's got Ariel and Eric, it's got his castle, it's got the shell necklace, Ursula's shell necklace, and then the edging is deckled, and it's justified because it's Ariel, so totally fine. This is a book series I know I want to get into. I have not yet. If you're not familiar with these books, these are limited edition covers. So there is a pink one. I want to say this is the last one, or maybe it's the second one. These are really cool hardback covers. And then the edging are really pretty and they are sprayed, and so is the pink one. And I thought they were beautiful. I've heard great things about them, so I knew this was a series I wanted to get into eventually. And I saw that they were on sale for at least half off, maybe more on Amazon. So I ended up grabbing those. The other one, the pink one, was not on sale as much, so I ended up waiting on that. This one was pretty cool. I wanted to end up reading it before it was released, but I did not. This was one of those giveaways that Goodreads does that you can enter in for a giveaway for an arc. I got this in May and this released in July on the 22nd, so this is already out if this is something you want to read. This is by Holly Jackson. This is not quite dead yet, and I did want to read it before it was released so I could go on Goodreads and give my review. I'm like, I got it beforehand, this is super cool. But I started reading it and it takes place during Halloween, at least part of it. And so I was like, I just can't get into it, especially not like beginning of summertime. So I ended up holding off, and I'm going to read this in October. So I know I'm gonna read this year, have not yet. And then there is As Good as Dead, which is the last book of the Good Girls Guide to Murder, and I found this at Second and Charles. It was $7, a lot cheaper than the original price, and it was hardback. It has been very hard for me to find these books in hardback. I was going to order them on Amazon, but I was so excited I was able to find them in store at a secondhand bookstore. And then I found A Flicker in the Dark. So I have not heard anything about this. This one was just kind of, I bought on a whim because my husband and I went to Second and Charles and I didn't find any books that I was wanting to get. And again, this one was cheaper than the original price. The idea of it seems really cool. I want to try and read it this fall or winter before the end of the year. So those are the books of May. June, I only bought 3 books. So again, we are dwindling back down, so it's a lot better. The first book I got was Sea Witch, and there's a second to this book. It is a duology called Sea Witch Rising, and it has the sister on the bottom. This is an Ursula or Vanessa origin story I'm so excited about. I have been wanting to read this for a long time, and when I found it at Second and Charles, I went ahead and grabbed it. It was $8, and they did not have the second one, Sea Witch Rising, but I will eventually get it. I think I found it on Amazon with the hardback. I'm not quite sure if they have hardback or if it's just paperback. I'm so excited about this one. My sister actually just read this one and gave it a 4 stars. She said she really liked it and she was very excited to read the second one. And then I got Vengeance of the Pirate Queen. So I have read the first one. So I talked about this in the last video. I've not read the third one yet. I want to finish out the series pretty soon. The first one is Daughter of the Pirate King. Read it, loved it. The second one is Daughter of the Siren Queen. And then this is the last one. This is about a character in the first 2 books. So she has her own little story, which I'm very excited about because they kind of talked about her a little bit in the first one. I need to go ahead and buy the first 2. I read the first one on Kindle Unlimited. That's why I don't have it, or else I would be holding it. And also you would see it on my pirate shelf right there. So I am very excited to read this one. I have not read it yet. I have not read the second one of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This is Good Girl, Bad Blood. I don't have a review for it. I found this one when I went back to Second and Charles later, and they had it for a good price. They didn't have it when I went the month before and got As Good as Dead. I'm very excited to step back into this world. I really think I'm going to end up finish this series this fall because I loved the first book. I am really hoping that they end up coming out with the second and third season of The Good Girls Guide to Murder. I don't know if it's confirmed yet. I think this one was confirmed, but I really can't remember. But regardless, I'm excited to read the books. And then we end the video with the month of July, which I kind of snuck this one in. This is Fable. I technically did not buy this or get this kind of this month. I thought my friend Megan was lending this to me and letting me borrow it and read it. And I had it for like well over a year or so. And I was FaceTiming her one day and I was like, oh, I have your book, by the way. It's in the bag of things that I need to give you. And she was like, which book? And I was like, Fable, and there's like another one too. She was like, no, I have my book. And I was like, no, Megan, I have it. It's right here. I'll show you. And she goes, no, I'm staring at my book on the bookshelf right now. I was like, what? Oh, did you end up having a second one? She was like, yeah, I think I ended up giving that to you. I was like, that was one I was giving you because I had a second copy. I was like, oh, I never knew. So I didn't ever end up reading this. I was gonna read it last summer, but I was like, well, I know I'm gonna buy the book, so I'll just hold off. I didn't end up buying the books, which is a good thing. Okay, that was a blessing in disguise. Thank you, Jesus. I have Fable. This is a 4 or 5 book series. I say that because I looked it up and there was something called Drift. I don't know if that's coming later or if it's already out or what it's about. I think it might be a novella. Regardless, so this is Fable, and then the second one is Namesake, and it completes her face. So cool. There's Saint, which is the 4th book, and then the 3rd book is The Last Legacy. I really want to try and end up reading this summer. I don't know if I'll get around to it, if I'll have time. So if not, then this is early May read of next year or June, but this will definitely be first summer books that I read next year. The next book I got is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, who is the author of The Inheritance Games. This is a book series she wrote before The Inheritance Games. I am super excited about this series. I found out about this series after The Inheritance Games, which was another series that Megan highly recommended for me to read. I got it because she came out with a little limited edition cover where it has the spread edging and the blue puzzle pieces. So the other books, I can't remember the other names of them. They all have puzzle pieces, and then also like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, that is beautiful. It's got a little locket in the front, so obviously that's going to be a big thing in the book. I have not read it yet. And then this is the in paper art. I am super excited to read this series. I definitely think I'm going to start reading it this fall. The next book that I bought was Beach Read, and I am so happy with this. This is the beautiful hardback limited edition cover. This is the one with the beautiful spread edging that I got. It just came in the mail a couple weeks ago, and I am almost done with this. I can probably finish it today, maybe early tomorrow. I say maybe not tonight because the day that I am filming this video is a Wednesday, okay, and it is almost 4:30, okay, and my sister is coming home soon, and my husband. For the ones that do not know, Wednesdays are the summer I turn pretty days. The reason why I said I probably won't finish this, I only have this much left. Not much at all, like 100 pages. So yes, I could finish it today, but because we are watching that, I may not. The time that you're reading this, I will have already finished it. I will give you my rating. I have my little bookmark. It is just a paint swatch. I found it. I am the person that I love cute little bookmarks, but I usually just find random things around the house. Typically receipts that I bought the book with. So right now, my rating is 4-star, but I have not finished it, so I will let you know. I really like this. I also don't know why. Didn't know that it's gonna have a little bit of spicy in it. If you're not a spicy girl like me, I just say skim the book when it gets a little hot. Anyways, so the last book I got was Glorious Rivals, which is the second book of the Grandest Games series. When I was doing the bookshelf video, I said that there was probably going to be, this was before this one came out, 3 or 4. I was talking about this series. Later this year that I know I'm definitely getting, mainly because I've already pre-ordered it, but I'm not including it because I don't have the book yet. It hasn't released, is The Same Backwards and Forwards, which is 2 characters from the Inheritance Games series. I'm so excited for that book. I was presuming that the Grandest Games series would have 4 books. So the Grandest Games has a club on it, and then Glorious Rivals has the diamond. So that is why I'm saying I thought that it was going to be 4. However, I think she ended up saying that it's only 3. So like, I mean, obviously she can write whatever she wants, but like my mind automatically went to it being a 4-book series. So that's why I thought that there was going to be 4 to collect and to complete the full card deck of all of the symbols. To me, I was like, oh, she's starting with the clubs, and then there's diamonds, and then I thought it was going to be spades, and then ending with hearts. Just my mind, like we would end it with the hearts. I don't know if that's going to be a thing. If I called it, hey, if I called it in years from now, like 2 years from now, it's released that it is 4, and that's how it comes out, I'm coming back to this, and I'm saying that I called it. I don't think it's like that crazy. I'm sure it's very easy for anyone to have come with that. Regardless, so I have the Barnes & Noble Glorious Rivals. I ended up pre-ordering this with my sister because it was on sale for pre-order on Barnes & Noble, along with her 10% off and free shipping. Now I have the 2 very, very cute little white Barnes & Noble editions. Again, the black ones were so pretty because of like the really pretty pop with the purple and the blue and all the little knickknacks on the inside, but I ended up sticking with the white, and I am glad I got the white. I thought they were really pretty. That concludes the books that I got this year so far. It will obviously grow. It's crazy looking at my shelves right now. I am looking at the monitor and it's so bare with all the books that I have down here, and especially the top shelf. All but 2 books that I have for the fantasy shelf I bought this year. So totally fine. I am so excited to finish reading these books and to let you eventually know what my ratings are and how I liked them. Darlings, I hope you enjoyed today's video just as much as I did making it. If you did, please click the like button down below, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe and click the bell notification button so you are notified every time I upload a new video. Bye, darlings.